Opinion: the tragic Mumbai suburban rail accident was waiting to happen on Monday, June 9. Mumbai's suburban rail system witnessed yet another serious tragedy. In a bizarre reaction, once again, Indian Railways IR officials, true to form, attempted to blame the victims, despite the fact that the circumstances leading to the incident play out daily across the Mumbai suburban network, whether the tragedy occurs at railway stations, inside local trains, or on the tracks is a matter of detail. The only truth: the IR disowns them as railway accidents. I will return to this point shortly. At least 4 people were killed and 9 others injured in an unprecedented tragedy on the Mumbai suburban train network. They fell from 2 overcrowded local trains crossing each other in Thane district during the peak morning hours. According to railway officials, the incident occurred around 9:30 am between Diva and Kopar railway stations on Central Railway, one of the busiest sections of the Mumbai suburban railway. One train was travelling towards Kazira, the other towards Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Terminus. All deceased were reportedly between 30 and 35 years of age. And although the railways have not put forward definitive reasons for the accident, according to Central Railway Chief Public Relations Officer CPRO Swapnil Neela, a probable cause is passengers hanging from the footboards of 2 trains travelling in opposite directions brushing against one another. 3 days have passed since the accident, yet Indian Railways has neither accepted responsibility nor announced any compensation for the next of kin of the deceased or the injured. Even the statutory independent inquiry by the Commission of Railway Safety (CRS) was not deemed necessary, and a committee of 5 mid-level railway officers have been tasked to investigate the accident. The task of compensating victims has been relegated to the Maharashtra state government, which has announced Rs 5 lakh ex gratia to the next of kin of the deceased and between Rs 50,000 and Rs 200,000 to the injured. It is apparent that baffled railway officials, after calling the accident bizarre and an isolated event, have resorted to their usual practice blaming the victims. Nanan is a frequent user of the Mumbai suburban rail network for over 3 decades and a keen observer of Indian Railways. I believe that, however bizarre this tragedy may seem, it was avoidable. Here are the primary reasons for such accidents. Nanis, this is not a recent problem, nor one specific to the Railway Ministry. The blame lies squarely with political leaders of all stripes who have occupied Rail Bhavan for at least the past 5 decades. Nanan, how bad is the situation? The short answer is as bad as it can get. Rather than offer my own opinion, I will quote from the 2012 report of the High-Level Rail Safety Review Committee, headed by noted scientist Dr. Anil Kakadkar. The report not only explained the scale of the problems facing the Mumbai suburban system but also provided workable solutions. An estimated 15,000 people are killed on the entire railway system every year, of which about 6,000 deaths occur on the Mumbai suburban system alone. The reluctance of Indian Railways to acknowledge these casualties, which do not fall under the purview of train accidents but are nevertheless train-related accidents, cannot be ignored. No civilized society can accept such carnage on their railway system. Regarding solutions to the structural problems facing the Mumbai suburban railway system, the committee identified the following key action areas for Indian Railways. The dire situation on the Mumbai suburban system must be tackled on a war footing. The lack of passenger facilities, such as a sufficient number of platforms, wider platforms, escalators, and lifts for the physically challenged, and insufficient train services are the main reasons for such a heavy human toll on the Mumbai suburban system. This is clearly the responsibility of the railways, and they cannot use the excuse that urban transport is not their responsibility. Nanan, having worked as the exclusive assistant to Metro Man Drive E. Sridharan during his role as advisor to the Kakadkar committee, I can vouch for the accuracy of the figures presented. However, for the skeptical, I offer another set of train accident data, annually compiled and published by the National Crime Records Bureau (NCRB), another arm of the Government of India. Nanan Hayres, a glimpse at the number of train-related deaths annually published by the NCRB. Defining characteristic of these train-related deaths is that the majority, over 70, were attributed to just 2 types of accidents: people falling from trains or being struck by trains on the tracks. NCRB data for the past 5 years follows the same pattern of the 100,000 railway accident deaths reported between 2017 and 2021, over 71,000 people died either by falling from trains or being run over. This should be a wake-up call for the officials at Rail Bhawan, but they remain unconcerned. The big question is the reason is that for the past few decades, railway administrations of all persuasions, regardless of the political party in power, have looked the other way regarding accidental deaths from falling from trains or being crushed by trains on railway tracks. Even the stern reprimand from the Dr. Anil Kakodkar committee, no civilized society can accept such carnage on their railway system, has failed to move Indian Railways leadership. Why does Indian Railways not own these deaths? The problem lies in the definition. IR doesn't even consider falling off the train and being run over by a train as railway accidents. Their view is clear: these unfortunate victims are to blame for their tragic deaths. Nanan. In the wake of the tragedy, the Railway Minister and Railway Board officials held an emergency meeting with the Integral Coach Factory team and decided to introduce automatic door closing on new Mumbai local trains and retrofit older trains with the same technology. This proposed solution is like applying a band-aid to a major fracture. It is also impractical, as automatic doors on non-AC trains create another problem: suffocation due to reduced ventilation. To address the ventilation problem, the Railway Board has decided that new non-AC trains for the Mumbai Suburban section will be designed and manufactured with 3 key design changes to improve ventilation. The railways plan to have the first train with this new design ready by November 2025, and, after the necessary tests and certification, it will be put into service by January 2026. However, the problems with suburban rail traffic are much larger. Such quick fixes will not work. Nanan. Much of Indian Railways passenger service is suburban. In 2023, suburban rail passenger traffic across the nation reached a staggering more than 4 billion. Therefore, simply manufacturing new or retrofitting old suburban non-AC trains with automatic closing doors, even if a plausible long-term solution for Mumbai, is insufficient. The problem facing India is much deeper. Here are just 3 examples. Mumbai Suburban. The Mumbai Suburban Railway network carries approximately 2.64 billion passengers annually, or between 7.5 and 8 million commuters daily, making it one of the busiest commuter rail systems in the world. Spread over 450 kilometers, the Suburban Railway operates 2,342 train services. Kolkata Suburban. The Kolkata Suburban Railway handles a massive volume of passengers, with an estimated 3.5 to 4 million people travelling daily and 1.2 billion annually. Like Mumbai, Kolkata has one of the busiest suburban rail systems in the world. The system comprises 5 main lines and 19 branch lines, operating over 1,500 services. Chennai Suburban. The Chennai Suburban network carries between 2 and 2.5 million passengers daily, translating to nearly 500 million passengers annually. Chennai Suburban runs about 1,000 train services daily and accounts for over 50 of Southern Railway's total passenger traffic. Nanan. The daily suburban passenger traffic in Mumbai 7.5 to 8 million, Kolkata 3.5 to 4 million, and Chennai 2 to 2.5 million, totals 13 to 14.5 million. How, then, does the total suburban railway traffic in India sum up to more than 4 billion? The answer lies in the details. Suburban trains are defined as passenger trains that cover short distances of up to 150 kilometers, facilitating movement within cities and suburbs. Suburban train services are provided by 7 zonal railways, spread over 1,763 kilometers, serving the cities of Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, and Secunderabad. These services are not limited to large cities but also operate in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. And these suburban trains are death traps. Nanan. According to a 2016 report by the Controller and Auditor General CAG, suburban trains accounted for 33,445 deaths between January 2010 and December 2014, a substantial number of which were due to falling from trains and trespassing. Notably, about 53 of the total deaths, 17,638, occurred on the Mumbai suburban section. Furthermore, about 82 of the deaths due to falling from trains occurred on the Mumbai suburban section. The CAG report also observed that medical facilities for accident victims at several of these stations were inadequate. To reduce accidental deaths, the CAG recommended and the CAG also recommended that the railways ensure safety measures such as raising platform height and installing fencing between tracks to prevent deaths. It is clear that both the problems and the solutions regarding the countless deaths on the Mumbai suburban section are well known and documented. Nevertheless, no concrete measures have been taken. In 2024, 2,468 people died on the Mumbai suburban railway tracks, a slight decrease from the 2,590 fatalities in 2023. A significant number of deaths occur due to crossing tracks illegally and falling from moving local trains. Harass the breakdown in the Mumbai suburban rail system faces a complex array of challenges. Its myriad woes stem primarily from chronic overcrowding, aging infrastructure, safety concerns, and difficulties in expanding capacity within a densely populated linear city. Here are the key problems facing the Mumbai suburban network. When I first started travelling on the Mumbai suburban network in the early 1990s, peak hour traffic was called crush load. In the 2000s, it became super crush load, and today, its only apt description is cattle class. The system is so severely overcrowded that trains routinely carry several times their intended capacity. A 12CAR rake designed to carry 2,400 people often carries more than 6,000 during peak times. There have been attempts to increase system capacity by increasing train lengths to 12 or even 15 cars, but this solution has reached its limit due to the need for longer platforms and other structural issues. Much of the rail infrastructure is outdated, having been built over a century ago with little regard for even incremental upgrades. The dimensions of platforms and the facilities for entry and exit are inadequate for 8 million daily commuters. Station modernizations, which should have begun decades ago, are nowhere in sight. And overcrowding directly impacts passenger safety. It is no surprise, then, that thousands of deaths occur annually on the suburban network. Worse is the plight of the thousands maimed in accidents. With tracks not properly fenced and frequent platform changes, crossing from one platform to another remains a serious issue, further aggravated by trespassing. And expanding the network in a complex, land-scarce linear city makes adding more tracks or lengthening platforms nearly impossible. Consequently, many such plans have been pending for a long time. While the problems facing suburban rail systems in Mumbai and elsewhere persist, it is time to address the immediate issue and stop the daily carnage on the railway tracks. As a starting point, the railways must change the definition of railway accidents and acknowledge death due to falling from trains and death on railway tracks as railway accidents. Swipe left for next video. It's time to recognize that the railways are responsible for any death on their system other than those due to natural causes. The author is multidisciplinary thought leader with action bias, India-based international impact consultant, and keen watcher of changing national and international scenarios. He works as President Advisory Services of consulting company Barsil. Views expressed in the above piece are personal and solely those of the author. They do not necessarily reflect NEWS18's views. Latest blogs